Good afternoon, everyone. We were trying to wait for more people to come so we could get started with them, but we'll go ahead and get started with Malcolm Beck. I'm going to lead it off. My name is Daniel Cifuentes. Malcolm Beck is going to be talking to us about the good, the bad, and the bugly. And he does have some of his books up here if you are interested in buying some of his books. Also, they're also online, and you can also find them at Garden-Ville. How many of you have ever taken a trip over to Garden-Ville? Almost everyone, okay. Oh, look, another friend showed up. Okay, great. I was going to say, Malcolm Beck has a lot to share with us. But if you look around, to your left and to your right, you're going to find that we can actually help one another as well. So do you mind looking to your left and to your right and shaking one another's hands and introducing yourself to one another? I know I'm a Christian. I go to church, and many times I get blessed a lot more after the preaching. I get blessed during the preaching, but also talking to my fellow brothers and sisters. They have a lot to share with me, and that's why I wanted you to meet one another. And if you get a chance, exchange phone numbers with one another. We really do have a lot to offer to one another, okay? And what we are doing is very serious. It's not to be taken lightly. Vegetable gardening, especially organic vegetable gardening, is something that is very beautiful to do, okay? But it's something that we should do. It's something that our parents and grandparents and before then, they always did. And we seem to have let go of it, and we have let Agra corporations take us over. And the news is not good. And what I've been hearing is that many people are interested in doing their own gardening for a couple of reasons. One, they want to be able to taste what a real tomato is supposed to taste like, or a lettuce is supposed to be lettuce, and so I heard that's one reason, and another reason is many people are concerned by how our world's administration is going, that they are trying to use food as a means of, like a weapon. It might sound like it's a conspiracy, and guess what? It is. What can I say? It is, and it's an agenda, and these guys have it laid out. How many of you know a company called Monsanto? Okay, Monsanto. Okay. I'm in the right crowd then. Okay. Here is recording, and he's going to place this information on YouTube, and I can email you later as to how you can find the information on YouTube. Okay, some of you have heard also about that HR 875. It's been going all over the place, and it sounds like a hoax. It looks like a hoax, but it's not a hoax. Okay, this is the first time that if it talks like a duck and it walks like a duck, it must be a duck. But this thing is real. So but it's hidden and hidden and hidden. It looks like it's not. And I don't know if you know it or not, but the person who started that HR 875, it was introduced by Rosa de Loado, and her husband, Stanley Greenberg, works for the company of Monsanto. Okay, now, I'm going to pass it on to Malcolm right now, but before I do that really fast, I just want to break something down for you, okay? Okay, here's the word Monsanto. M-O-N-S-A-N-T-O. Anyone who speaks Spanish or Latin or Italian can immediately see what's going on. Mon means one. Is that right? Mano, uno, mano, one. And santo means saint. Okay? Now, I heard someone say, okay, I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard someone say that the only person who's ever called himself one saint is the devil himself. You know, I mean, that's what they told me, you know, that and as I say this to you, I tremble, you know. So to me, it's something that's really serious, okay? And if they do stop me from doing organic gardening, well, let them go ahead and stop me, but I'm not going to stop doing it. I'm going to continue working for the Lord Jesus Christ until He tells me stop. Until then, I'm going to continue working, and I hope you can continue working with one another. And that's what I'm saying, share information with one another. Okay, we are brothers and sisters of this planet Earth. And with that, I'll pass it on to Mr. Malcolm Beck.
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I bet I know something about you people. Most of you are gardeners. Let me tell you about gardeners. My wife and I was in the business selling organic gardening products to people for some almost 30 years before we sold the business. You know, we never got a single bad check from a home gardener. That's unheard of. We've taken thousands of checks from home gardeners. They don't give bad checks. Anyway, tell you how I got started in this. Dale and I got married in 1957, and the first thing we did was bought this little farm out east of San Antonio. And this is our farmhouse, and I was sitting on the steps of that farm reading the Progressive Farmer magazine. There was an article in there about Colorado potato beetle. Told how that migrated into Texas. Told about all the damage it was doing. Well, we had a big garden, and I had a pretty good potato patch, so I went and looked at my potatoes, and there was beetles crawling all over them. Well, that must be the tater beetles, so I went to the store, and I got the malathion. And I was out there dusting all them plants, and a buddy of mine walked up and said, "Beck, stop, you're killing ladybugs." I said, "Ladybugs? I thought those were tater bugs." He said, "No, them are good bugs." So I killed some good bugs. Didn't think anything of it, but I guess it's 2 weeks later or so, my potato plants started looking bad. Didn't see any beetles, but when I looked on the underside of the leaves and on the stems, they were full of some kind of little bitty insects. Went in the house and I called that buddy. I said, "There's some kind of little insects all over my potato plants just sucking the life out of them." He said, "Yeah, those are aphids." I knew that would happen. He said the lady beetles were on there keeping the troublesome insects, the aphids, in check. You kill the lady beetles, they have takes a long time for them to reproduce, but those aphids have a new generation every 7 days. So I asked this guy, "Well, how do you know about good bugs and bad bugs?" He said, "I've been reading a little magazine called Organic Gardening and Farming." I subscribed to that magazine. I got to know the people that produced it real well. I was even on their front cover one time. I was asked to go up there and give talks. They've done a lot for this country. Anyway, there's the lady beetle. Notice she's in amongst a bunch of aphids that she's feeding on. And right there in the center you see lady beetle eggs. Notice they're amongst a bunch of aphids, so when them little lady beetle larvae hatch, they'll have plenty to eat. And that's a lady beetle larva. That's what they look like before they pupate and turn into an adult. You wouldn't think that thing is going to double up like that. Sooner or later the back's going to split open, then an adult beetle will come out. Now there's all kinds of lady beetles. Here's it's a white one with black spots. The book calls it ash gray. Well, I don't know, it's white to me. But they're all beneficial. You see, this particular one, he likes to get high up in a tree and it catches green loopers and things like that. The entomologists, scientists around the world have already cataloged about 10 million species of insects. And they think if they ever get them all cataloged, there may be a million species. They think it'd probably be 10 million. Well, of all of the insects that they've cataloged so far, 1% of them are troublesome. The rest are beneficial. But that troublesome one reproduces much faster than the beneficial. There you see one they call a twice-stabbed lady beetle. You always find it up in a tree. This lady beetle right here helped salve the citrus, helped the citrus industry survive in California. There was a scale moved in on it, and they thought that scale on those trees was ever toxic poison they had, and it was a losing battle. And some young thinking microbiologist said, "Why don't we find its natural enemy?" So they found its natural enemy, which was the lady beetle, and they reared them in laboratories. They went out and they collected them. They released them. They didn't use any poisons, made sure the lady beetles could get established. And it wasn't long at all that the scale was gotten under control at very little cost. There's a larva of another lady beetle. We call this a rag mop, you can see why. Anyway, it turns into